Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, maybe Jahmyr Gibbs. Is the 101 up for debate? That and much more in the next 2 hours. It's Davis and Liam on the road to $250,000. It's Short King summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King summer. All right, Liam, what's up? We are here today. We are about to hop in the big board, the combine. People are descending upon Indianapolis. None of the good players are working out. You know, Genti is not going to run. I'd be stunned if Travis Hunter runs. Maybe he'll do some drills. Shadur Sanders not throwing. Does sound
well.
like
that is not lumping Shadur in with them is. These two things are not the same, right? Where it's like some of these guys don't test because they don't need to. Some guys don't test because they have nothing to gain and everything is negative. And some guys don't test because they test bad. Where, yes, the combine starts tomorrow. We're going to be talking about news. Unfortunately, I am multi-tabling this stuff. Because we jumped in one pre-stage and a snap filled. Anyways, what I talked about this a little bit yesterday on stream. The combine's not been the same the past couple of years, where a lot of these guys are just being told don't test certain things anymore, right? Like don't run the 3-cone. A la DK Metcalf slipping in the 3-cone and falling. Dude, you gotta fix the Zoom. This is terrible. What are you showing out to the people here?
Oh, it's because it's so I can actually see it on my screen.
Yeah, well, you gotta fix this. I'm in both of these. My God, dude, what is this ugly thing in the bottom right hand corner?
There we go. Left is the draft caddy, and right is the sidekick.
My God, man, what these people need just to lose to me year after year.
Well, Crane beat you in the BBM3. He won.
Yeah, with his tools? I don't think so. I think that was made after. Anyways, like Tyler Warren not testing, that's a little worrisome to me. Like he's not injured, is he?
I don't believe so. I mean, it's possible that something got missed. I think the Shadur would be I'm gonna go Puka Nacua. Shadur would be working out if he thought there was any chance that he wasn't going to be the top pick. I think
I'm getting the vibe that this quarterback class, like we could get some quite like last year where Nix and Michael Penix going so high in the draft was a big surprise from this time last year, right? I got 2 Amon-Ra's back to back. People are just bored with Amon-Ra, man.
People are bored. People are definitely bored with
Amon-Ra 110, sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I'm in the vibe that like, Jackson Dart, maybe this dude sneaks up. Maybe this dude goes top 10.
I think he's gonna go 6 or 7. I think like I couldn't bet this because I couldn't find it anywhere. And when I was oh shit, my camera disconnected. Now I'm on the wrong camera. You guys like that? You guys like that side angle? I tried to bet this when I was in Illinois, but draft betting is not legal there. Jackson Dart to be the first quarterback drafted. I think that's hanging out there. I want to say
that's a bad bet though, right? Like that's just like Cam Ward has locked up that.
I don't think it's a bad bet. No, I wouldn't make it if I thought it was a bad bet. Because if Cleveland, and I'm gonna take Bowers here, really it just takes one team to pass on Ward, and then for all the Shadur haters to be right. If the Shadur haters, this guy stinks, he's going to be a second round pick, he's going to be Malik Willis, then the number is wrong. Then it shouldn't be, 60.
The worry with Shadur is that he's kind of like Bryce Young. You know what I mean? Like early career Bryce Young, not like maybe there's something there, Bryce Young, where it's just like noodle arm, basically.
Right. He's a playmaker who is not athletic enough to make plays at the NFL level. Right.
Yeah,
Would be the concern with him.
And his arm's not that special.
He's very accurate. He's a very accurate quarterback, which is something you can't teach.
But that's not true. Like the accuracy you can't teach. Like that's an old 10-year-old thing.
What's an example of a guy who's gotten more?
Josh Allen. Like when your mechanics are truly off, if your mechanics fix, and now I'm not going to say it's not hard to fix your accuracy, but you can fix it if you fix your mechanics and you don't revert back to it, right? But like Josh Allen was known for being an inaccurate quarterback and whatever. He was like nearly 65%, whatever completion rate this past year. So you can fix accuracy. It's just you can't, if you have good mechanics and you're inaccurate, okay, that is a worry, right? But if you have bad mechanics, obviously there's room to grow there. Wow, dude, going Terry? Going the worst pick on the board?
This is actually where he should be picked. This is a good range for him. I think
4 picks later than where his ADP is.
Yeah, I think taking him ahead of particularly Moore and Garrett Wilson. I've got him back to back with Worthy in my rankings. So I don't like taking him. The other thing about taking him on this side of the board is you increase your odds of getting Jaden Daniels. When you take him on the left side of the board, when you take him at 23, 24, 25, 26, you're drawing insanely thin to get Jaden Daniels. So, I think my opinion would be because McLaurin paying off his tag is so concentrated on touchdowns, you really want Daniels and McLaurin together.
Yeah, you would prefer that. I was really hoping to get James Cook and Chase Brown. That just feels like
it's such a good pairing.
Getting a Monra and AJ Brown and then going like Chase Brown and James Cook, it's like, okay, I've won the first 4 rounds. You kind of just feel that way. Where
have you started watching any of these rookies yet? Or are you still waiting for the combine stuff? I guess you haven't drafted very many of these.
Yeah, well, post combine is where do I want to go JMO with a Monra? I could. Between him, Smith and AJ Brown or JMO. Let's go Smith and see if we get the Hurts on the wrap. Highly unlikely, but it could happen.
I take JMO there a lot of the times just because I don't like taking Flowers without Lamar. Sometimes I even pull Rome up there.
I could have raw dog Jaden, but I didn't want to do it to you. And then
raw dogging Jaden when you have AJ Brown would have been bad, probably.
I don't net if it's a rare pairing that most people won't do, that can make up for whatever, And I just think like my true serum is Jaden should be the QB 1 or 2. I think Josh should be QB 3 and Lamar should be QB 1 or 2. I think Josh just has the most systematic risk, and people are not really like considering that. They're just being like, this dude's always QB1. Let's do it. But the risk with him is that they just stop letting him run in goal line touchdowns in the regular season at the same volume they've done in years past. And that seems
my concern with Josh opposed to Hurts and Daniels is that his fantasy production really could happen the same way it's happened for Mahomes, where the regular season just becomes so much less important. And if the touchdown stuff goes against him, because they're not, they're just not going to be a top 5 most proficient passing offense, because they don't have to be, and they don't want to be. Like Josh threw 3,700 yards last year. So if he does lose, like if he loses 8 rushing touchdowns, which is totally in the range of outcomes for him, he is, I mean, it is. It's actually the same thing that has happened to Mahomes. Obviously different because his floor is way better because he'll still run. What's like his floor? Like 500 rushing yards probably. Can't be worse than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Josh still has QB1 in his range of outcomes.
Sure.
Like in the bit, like people being like Bill's regression. No, that's nonsense, right? They're gonna have an elite line, but Joe Brady
elite line is probably bad for him though, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? Elite line. Now they're going to try to fix their D line, particularly their D tackles, and their, just like their safeties. They're going to try to improve their defense. So if this happens, like let's say they get a really good defense and they have a good O-line and they have a good running game, all of a sudden you don't really need to pass that much, and I mean, it looks like this is going to work unless this dude wants to double up elite quarterback.
I have not seen Hurts go this far around. So classic everything coming up Liam here. Jordan.
No, that's what I got that last stream with you though, too. He might do it to me too, which is fine. Yeah, he did.
I believe he just auto drafted that. I don't think he consciously did that. Jordan Shand is one of the big...
I don't think so because like he pulled up Zay Flowers to go with Lamar.
Here, I can ask him.
The way some people work is they see a start for someone and they're like, I need to, like, that is too good. I need to be the one to stop that, which is, of course, nonsensical because you can't get in every single draft room. It's not like this is like only 10 drafts are occurring. So someone's going to get the Jalen Hurts. You just stopped me from getting it, which is fine. I don't even mind AJ Brown Smith without Hurts. Would have been better with him, I think. But anyway,
I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan is just auto drafting all of these off ranks. Actually,
possible.
Yeah.
I don't know who Jordan
which is insanely annoying. Jordan is one of the he's one of the big guys at Saber Sim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he told me he did not snipe you on purpose. So there you go. Unsniped. I think he, which is, by the way, one of the most annoying things in fantasy football.
Tilting, right?
It's 100%. It is more tilting when someone auto drafts your combo and they don't even want it. They don't even have any control over it. They're just doing it because the computer gave it to them.
The big ironic thing to say when you have a computer on the screen, but I could go Joe Burrow there to pair with Chase Brown. I think that's a totally fine pairing. I just didn't feel like doing it in this draft. Went Aiyuk there. I think pulling Aiyuk up is pretty good.
I mean, you definitely like Aiyuk more as your 4th wide receiver because his floor is 0. So I like that. But
I don't think I don't think that's like a sure. Any player's floor is 0, but in reality, his floor is not 0, right? Like, I think, who do you think is a riskier pick, Godwin or Aiyuk?
Aiyuk.
I think that's pretty insane. I think it's clearly Godwin. He's several years older. He got hurt.
I actually don't think that's true.
You don't think Godwin's several years older?
Godwin is 20. Godwin is 28.
He's going to be 29, and Aiyuk is like 26.
Yeah, they're 27 and 28 right now, and then they're going to be 27 and 29.
Yeah, so 2 years.
Learn something new every day.
Brandon Aiyuk is 26 right now.
Oh, I just looked at their Pro Football Reference age.
Chris Godwin turns 29 tomorrow. So that is a 3-year age gap if you are counting at home. Anyways, yeah, I think Godwin has more systematic risk. Maybe Godwin has more upside, though, seeing as he was wide receiver 1 until he got hurt. But
I guess it just depends on their recovery because Godwin's was a bone injury. I never know how to handle that, but Godwin has it was a broken ankle, and Aiyuk had the tendon tear. I mean, I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's harder to rehab from. My
But
sense would be
Aiyuk happened what, like around week
6, I think, right?
Yeah, it was somewhat early.
And Godwin was like week 10, I want to say.
I think Godwin was like week 8. I think that the nice thing about Godwin is you're going to get info somewhat early.
Well, you're going to know how much money he gets in free agency, right? So if he gets a lot of money in free agency, it probably means
he got paid last. Oh no, I meant Aiyuk. The nice thing about Aiyuk is you're gonna get info on both, yes, but the particular nice thing about Aiyuk is we're gonna learn a lot based on what happens with Debo. I
think Debo's probably just done, right? Like if the 49ers could get off him and save any money at all, they would. I think that is my read. I think he's just dust.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
and that's coming from a Debo guy, right? I was all Debo over Aiyuk and stuff last year, but I mean, you've said this many times. I mean, Debo is not a style of football that is going to age gracefully, right?
No. But let me make my pick here. So Judkins fell quite a bit to me. Do you think this is a correction of the market or
no? That's correct. I mean, I think he is going to be I think he's going to perform poorly at the combine relative to his peers, but the NFL is not going to he's going to be a 3rd round pick. I think the thing that is happening in the market right now is a lot of the market in basketball is now realizing that there are 20 guys who are the exact stylistic fit as Judkins. I'm actually going to take Aaron Jones here.
Well, a lot of these, like the hype on this rookie running back class, some of it's going to be justified. Some of the guys that actually go high in the draft are going in like round 16.
Right.
And some of the guys that are going in round 7 or 8 are going to go in the 4th. So it is a little whack-a-mole. The bit of news I wanted to touch on before we talk about the combine is seems like Travis Kelce is returning. Thoughts on that?
It's kind of interesting because it's like, yeah, Veach said it, but
he says we're expecting him back.
We're expecting him back. So I moved him back up in my rankings. I moved him up to like the 110s or whatever, which I think is a reasonable...
Let's play a game. Kelce or Njoku?
I've got Njoku 1 spot ahead. Yeah.
Kelce or Jonnu Smith?
Jonnu.
Kelce or Goddard?
Kelce. That's the line for me.
Kelce or Kraft?
Kelce. Yeah.
Kelce or Tyler Warren?
At one, I would just like mix 50-50. I think I've got Warren 2 spots ahead, but I just want to be, that is Kelce my favorite range of tight end. Kelce, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, to me, what is Kelce at this stage? He is a guy who you're really just kind of hoping gets you 2 to 3 touchdowns in a game, which he has as good a bet of doing that, if not one of the best bets of anyone. I don't think it's that likely you're going to get a bunch of 100-yard games in a touchdown anymore.
No, really unlikely. It's mostly I mean, he did have 97 receptions last year.
Yeah, and I don't know, possible that he was banged up.
I mean, he's not going to get more healthy, right?
Well, I don't know. Like that.
I guess it's possible,
It is possible he's been hurt and, whatever. He
did have the one huge game against Houston last year, 7 for 117 and a touchdown, 8 for 84 and a touchdown.
In the playoffs you're talking about?
No, at the end. Well, the big game against Houston in the playoffs, and then the big game against Pittsburgh to end the season. And then he did. I mean, he looked so bad against Buffalo and against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but Buffalo, I think, was partially scheme. Like I knew going into that game, like Worthy was the speed guy was a concern, not the guy who has like negative yak. So the question is like, is the yak totally gone? The other question is, how do you want
in my mind? Yes, 100%. The yak is gone in my mind, which is why I have him so low.
Yeah, and then the other question is he so correlated with Mahomes that you really only want him in stacks? Like, I think that's a fine way to play Kelce.
I think that's a fine way to play it too. I agree. And this year you get to do Kelce, or you get to do Mahomes so the tricky thing about that is you also don't want to take naked Mahomes, because naked Mahomes is like got to be one of the worst picks on the board. Just like this guy is doing nothing. I mean, he just is a non-fantasy football relevant entity in the regular season. So then you have to set it up like very specifically, like, okay, I took Mahomes, and then I'm not even going to try and push Kelce around, because then I have naked Mahomes and there's no bailout options later. So I really better just take, round 8 Mahomes, round 9 Kelce, and then you've ruined the whole exercise of any value.
Sorry, I'm on the clock in multiple places. This is always a nightmare for trying to stream.
It is miserable. I need to take a running back here. I don't really want to take DeAndre
My
Swift.
one team is terrible. I took Kelce because I haven't taken him, and I have McBride, Njoku, and Kelce. So we're winning the tight end battle.
This Swift pick is terrible. This is as bad as it gets. But
Swift is a massive downside player that also has decent upside. Like, I took Brian Robinson over him just for partially safety. But I do think Swift has bigger years in his range of outcomes if he dodges a lot of bullets.
I was going to say he's got to be like
Neo.
He's got to be like Neo in the Matrix. Ben, so the deal is that the context of the market has now changed since yesterday. After this Brett Veach report, he used to free fall. He is not going to free fall anymore. He just went round 10 unstacked right here to a team that already had Mark Andrews. The Kelce in round 13 was a thing for him from last week. Brett Veach done changed the game on us, which is
I think by August I could see him okay, so Mark Andrews went in the 8th. I think by August he'll climb up to Mark Andrews.
Oh, if Kelce says on his dumb podcast, if he's like, all right, guys, I'm coming back one more year, unfinished business. He's going right back up. He's going all the way back up. That's happening.
Yeah.
Which I think is ill-advised.
Especially with the casual crowd that's going to be like, are you kidding me, man? Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce, dude? I'm not taking Jonnu Smith over Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Guys, the Gronk thing is not real news. The other, I had totally disregarded this as fan fiction clickbait discussion. But it seems like there's a little bit of smoke to this Matt Stafford trade.
I think that's happening.
Who is trading for him?
A lot of teams seem interested from the reporting.
Tell me.
Sounds like the Giants are number one. His brother-in-law is the quarterback's coach.
That's what I've seen is the in-law,
the New York Giants.
The in-law connection there.
But the bigger deal is the most plugged-in Rams reporter, Greg Rosenthal, said that's it. He's done. He's out. He does not want to be a Ram anymore. So unless they pony up a bunch of money, which they don't want to do because their cap situation is not great still, they don't want to pay. What is Stafford, 38? They're like, I think they're ready to go in a different direction as well.
I mean, that makes Malik Neighbors a lot more appealing if he's going to have Stafford. And it makes sense for the Giants. They have a good enough team, I guess. And they've been so bad for so long that, having a year or two of Stafford. And he's still in the NFC, which is nice. It doesn't make sense for the Rams to me. Like, why would the Rams, who were essentially a player or two away from the Super Bowl and have an improving young roster, trade him? Like, are they that in love with Sam Darnold?
It's because they just don't want to be stuck on the line for 3 more years of Matt Stafford at $53 million per year or whatever.
The other thing is, there was these rumors for a long time about McVay wanting to retire.
Yeah.
And if they trading Stafford, that seems like that is not true at all.
100%. Yeah. If it's like we're deciding between Sean McVay and Aaron Rodgers or Matt Stafford, and we choose Sean McVay, you better not retire on us, brother. You better not be going anywhere.
Yeah, I think it, like someone said, it just seems like negotiating BS.
It definitely could be.
Truth. I think that's 100%. Closest to the truth.
Yeah. Like, oh shit. God damn it. I would definitely not have taken Michael Pittman Jr. if I thought that was going to happen. This guy already has Mahomes and Knicks. Why did he take Richardson? That was not an auto pick either. I'm so tilted. Is this a big reach on Cam Ward? Yeah.
I don't really think big reach. Like, you should just wipe that from your mind that big reaches even exist at this round.
I'm going to take Penix and hope it works out. You're right. Round 12, take whoever you want.
Just round 12, just do it, man.
Yeah, that is really annoying. I mean, this guy is just, I assume he's just being a dick. But whatever. Now I'm going to have to take a third tight end.
Dude, taking Richardson is defensible for any team. There's nothing you can read into Richardson going to be like, oh, that is
not if you have Mahomes and Knicks.
Well, some people really love the triple condom life, and they got to get 3 quarterbacks in every draft because, Davis, haven't you heard? We don't know the bye weeks yet. Guys get hurt. It's 20 rounds, so.
I guess I prefer 3 quarterbacks, but I tack on a lot of the shitters. I take Derek Carr and Dart and Russell Wilson and these guys.
And the other people view it that, like, this is the end of a tier. Might as well get him, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just have Goff right now, so whatever. Whatever's going to come to me is going to come to me. I can't really pay attention to 2 draft boards and stream at the same time, so we're just we're clicking buttons. I think Hollywood was a pretty decent guy.
Oh, Hollywood is I almost took him.
Yeah, for a team that needs a little bit of wide receiver help, and honestly, I think I can just stop at 5 running backs right now. Chase Brown, Walker, Judkins, Brian Robinson, Tank. I'll probably tack on a 6th late, but looking like I'm building towards a 3-6-8-3 or a 3-5-9-3.
The late wide receivers just feel so thin, and the late running backs, I can at least tell myself a story.
I think the late wide, I feel totally the opposite. Who are the late running backs? I'm talking 19th and 20th round. Other than Jordan, James.
Shipley, Khalil Mullings.
Shipley, yes.
Rashard Smith, LaQuint Allen, Justice Hill. There are plenty. Devin Singletary, maybe even you could add.
I can tell infinite stories, though, about a lot of late wide receivers. So Cam Ward seems like a great pick for me.
100%.
I'm still operating.
I almost took him.
I'm still operating with the idea that he will go as QB1. And I also have outs to him being a Brown, which to pair with Njoku.
I think I don't know. I'd say he's like minus 110 to be Brown. Jaden Blue is another one who's like getting hype out of nowhere. But like for me, the hard part is I'm like, okay, well, how am I telling myself a story where Kayshon Boutte is the guy you need?
So I don't think Boutte you would do that with, but again, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Darius Slayton, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Trey Tucker.
Those guys are more like
Gabe Davis, Tyler Lockett, Ray McLeod, Luke McCaffrey, Roman Wilson, Mike
You
Williams.
can't tell yourself a Luke McCaffrey story. I'll give you everyone else. You can't tell yourself McCaffrey.
Year two. That's the story, dude.
He got benched in the playoffs for what's his name? Jamison Crowder. Those are guys who could like contribute, but those are not guys who are. There's zero league winning in the range.
You would have said the same thing about Tank Bigsby and Quentin Johnston last year.
And Bigsby was a good pick. Johnston did nothing in the playoffs, though.
No, but they were like actively bad picks year one, and they were not actively bad picks year two. And Luke McCaffrey was an automatic. Like there's like, you know, simply a guy that converted to wide receiver late in his career being better, you know, like that's a story to tell yourself. And, you know, I wouldn't say it's likely when you don't do anything, but it's in the range.
I just think it's insane to feel better about those guys than the running backs, though, because the running backs are so obvious. Like nothing even has to happen. They just have to get drafted. Sure.
But as someone that drafted a lot of late round running backs last year, there's going to be a lot of years where all those, like, you know, your stories don't exactly make money when they don't actually get starting jobs. They're just zeros. So,
well, most picks in the late rounds are going to be zeros.
I do not think Darius Slayton is zero. I do not think Trey Tucker is a zero. I don't think Josh Palmer is a zero. Demarcus Robinson. Like, I don't think a lot of these guys are for sure zeros. They don't exactly have league winning upside, but yeah, I don't see zero in the range for them.
I mean, like some of these, they just might not, like Deontay Johnson just might not play in the NFL. I agree with you that his range, Deontay Johnson, actually, if you really wanted to argue one of them could be a league winner, I would hear an argument that Deontay could be.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, man, right? Like, so obviously.
Yeah. But his range has huge
ranking is either really right or really insane.
Man, I'm like pretty certain he's going to be a second round pick. Like he should be ahead of Io Manor, and he's not.
Jalen Polk was a second round pick.
Lad McConkey was a second round pick. It's true. This is also a good point. Last year's running back class was historically bad, and this one is going to be really good. So that is a big difference. I know we're about to gain a lot of information about these guys in 3 days or whatever.
Somewhat, you know, who are the guys who you think have the most and least to gain? Seems like Isaiah Bond could gain a lot.
Both of the Texas guys, I think, have a lot to gain. I think probably Bayshell 210 is gonna. My guess is he will probably end up being a 12th round pick in the big board the rest of the way after the combine. So now's a good time to draft him. I mean, it just happens every year. Theo Johnson, no one gave a shit. No one knew Theo Johnson's name last year. Shows up at the combine, does the perfect 10 RAS, and then he's drafted the rest of the way. It's just it will always happen. It's true. And also we will get some of this stuff. Like Troy Franklin, like absolutely blew up the like I guess reverse blew up. He was awful at the combine. I actually don't want to take another rookie wide receiver. I don't really know who makes sense on this team. All the quarterbacks are gone. All right, I'll take Javonte. Whatever. Bags on Javonte are starting to get a little bit heavy, but the funny thing about Javonte is that I think he's terrible. But you look at this free agent running back class and you're like, okay, who's definitely better than Javonte of these free agent running backs? And it's like, okay, Aaron Jones for sure is better than him, but he might just return to Minnesota. In fact, they only have 4.
Who is the Broncos running back, man? Like they've seemed very likely to go. I could see like a trade happening. I think Jordan Mason starting running back for the Broncos. How's that sound to you?
Well, he's a restricted free agent, so
but all you gotta do is offer him more money than the Niners are willing to pay.
Maybe the Niners like him though.
They're gonna match a like 3-year, $20 million deal. I don't.
Well, they definitely wouldn't do that. But Jordan Mason's not going to get 3 years, $20 million. That'd be crazy.
DeAndre Swift got three for 24.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If he gets that, no chance to the 49ers match.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's unlikely because he's a running back, blah blah blah. But he was good, man. He was good this past year, and people just seem to be like memory wiping that. You know.
Yeah, he was okay. All right. What do we do here? Is there any
people are,
there's no stack option really.
I just want people to understand that if you're just taking a bunch of rookies, there's a very high likelihood you're taking a lot of zeros. I would have gone Dart as my third, especially late in these drafts. Like if you're just like, there's no value to DeAndre Hopkins or whoever, I have to take, let's see. I have to take Savion Williams. Yeah, maybe Savion Williams is a smash, but there's also a lot of years where Savion Williams is Luke McCaffrey or worse,
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't think you should be, like, if you're drafting a lot of teams in the big board, like, don't draft them blindly. Like, have opinions on the players and be like, if this guy lands in a good situation, he'll be good. If he lands in a bad situation, yada, yada, whatever, what team is likely to draft him. I wanted to like Estime. The Estime thing, I've like gone back and forth a bunch of times because he was a healthy scratch in their playoff game, but it was also like a stylistic thing. I'd like to correct this. I do get very frustrated doing this because I want people to live in reality. Last year's big board winner had 10 rookies, which is not to say you have to take 10 rookies, but I think you're just truly being quite stupid if you are not understanding what this rookie running back class has the potential to be. I think the rookie running backs, I guess this is the thing. The rookie running backs are clearly the best picks in the big board, but the fact is yes, many of them are going to be Kamani Vidal. So I don't know, 60% of them are going to be stone zeros for your roster effectively, but the 3 best picks in the big board are going to be rookie running backs. I don't know who they are. Develop your own opinion on that. But
what if it's Deontay Johnson, dude?
It could be, man. It totally could be. I mean, I think the chance of that is very light, but of course it's possible.
Man, my one team is so bad. This team I'm not drafting on stream. I'm just gonna need to auto some wideouts. I'm a big look at the draft board, dude. And this is why. But I think that, I don't have any rookie wide receivers on my team. I do have, though, Judkins at a value, which feels nice. I wasn't really planning to go a 6th running back, but Ray Davis seemed like pretty nice value as a 6th. Tight end room.
I like Ray Davis a lot.
Njoku, Sanders, Mike Gesicki feels pretty good. No, Sanders and Gesicki. Sanders could be a big hit. Year 2.
I mean, he had that weird neck injury to end the year, which is I don't know. I don't ever know how to feel about that. But if he is, 75% route share on, and Bryce Young is the 16th best quarterback in the NFL, I think he's a huge win. I like Jalen Royals a lot. I've got him ranked well ahead of ADP. I think he's an interesting fit in this class because he had this profile where he did very well on his gadget designed touches and then also was efficient down the field. Like his catch rate on throw, it's 60% of his yards were generated on throws 20 plus yards down the field and throws behind the line of scrimmage, which is a really unique profile. You
What
don't
do you think of
really
Aiden
find that.
Prather?
I don't have him ranked. He's I mean,
Underdog has him projected for 91 points.
It seems like a lot of points to me.
That is a lot of points. That's like I don't know, that's like Keon Coleman. I'm gonna roll the dice on Deontay in this one. I'm going 2 QB rather than like tacking on Kirk or Rodgers.
I mean, I got no issue with that. I think it's fine either. I think you can make an argument either way. I think on this team, I've got Hampton, I've got Gordon. I'm gonna take Keaton Mitchell, I think, with my final pick.
I'm gonna take a pick I know you're gonna hate, but
it's not even close.
Is.
You would rather any player you draft in the big board to go to a bad team in round 1 than a good team in round 3, and it's not even close.
Yes, on the aggregate, just unless they can somehow fall into whatever, some dream.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Unless they can be Puka Nacua.
Yeah, wow. Justice Hill in round 20, I will take. I'm not even like that hot to trot for Justice Hill, but there's a guy who is going to be active in week 1. How about that?
I just took 2 dudes who are likely to be zeros, but maybe not. Deontay Johnson and Mike Williams. No one has those 2 together. All I'm going to say is I got that combo locked up right now.
I would say, yeah, if you get that to the finish, sure. I wonder. I actually think this is probably not true.
It's
I think
Keaton. First off, he's a free agent. I think.
No, he signed a contract extension last year. But the bigger thing is Keaton Mitchell is now fully recovered from his ACL tear, and I think they probably have a bigger role imagined for him this year. Like a lot of that Justice Hill pace and space stuff they were giving him last year, I think is going to go to Keaton now.
Recap the teams, Davis.
All right, let me pull the board back up. All right, I did Jaden Daniels with Terry, Michael Penix with Pitts, Jackson Dart, running back room, Hampton, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Ollie Gordon, Javonte Williams, Justice Hill. That's a pretty bad running back room. Really hate Swift there.
You're doing a great job of showing this to the people.
Oh, sorry. Wide receivers, obviously better. Puka, McLaurin, Burden, Jennings, Michael Pittman Jr. Very annoying.
There's some real smoke that Amika is going to go ahead of Burden.
Yes. Yeah, you hear it. I mean, really, you hear it both ways, where some scouts are like, Igbuka is going to be better than Tet. And then you hear, oh, Golden might go at 12 to the Cowboys or whatever. I think Burden is better. I think Burden has a better fantasy football skill set.
It seems like Igbuka has a higher ceiling and Burden is more of a Robert Woods-ish on a hit.
Other way around. Igbuka's a 4-year player who's slot only. Burden did both and is an early declare and is probably going to be more athletic, I think, would be my guess. Bowers, Loveland, Pitts. That's a pretty good tight end room. Liam, Goff and Ward, Chase Brown, Ken Walker, Quinshon Judkins, B-Rob, Tank Bigsby, Ray Davis. That is a very nice running back room. The double Browns.
Davis, check your private chat. Are you in this draft?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. I'm gonna withdraw. You're not confirming.
No, I'm in. Sorry. Both Browns, Devonta, Aiyuk, Hollywood, Thielen, Wandale, Deontay.
A lot of dudes you don't feel great about, but
yeah, I was gonna say I think I hate all those
you could see it working.
Wide receivers.
The running back room feels good. The tight end room is fine. Thin quarterbacks to only go 2, but with you on my inside, on most drafts, I would have gotten Dart there.
Yeah.
No, people are like big vet guy. I mix it up, I think it's some drafts I just take a lot of rookies. We just have quite bad info on rookies right now. And, so, again, Troy Franklin was whatever, like a 7th-round pick last year. Like after the
First pick of the
combine
fourth
is
round.
when I really started after the combine is when I really started hammering Worthy and Ladd, just because like what I heard about them and the detractions, like I was like, okay, these are good guys to bet on in the big board.
Well, yeah, I mean Worthy got like 4 rounds more expensive in the big board.
Not really. He still hovered around whatever.
He ran the fastest 40 in the history of the combine. I remember because I had 24% Worthy, and I remember being like, man, I wish I would have drafted more of him earlier.
Do you
I almost
think
had as much of him.
you are the sole guy keeping Devin Neal's ADP high? Because I've seen some people are like, this guy's the best guy in the class.
I actually now he's moved ahead of my ranking. I've got
What
him
is
at 131.
like he's a classic example where what's most likely happening here is you're the one doing the most streams right now, and you are
Liam, no one
I'm
cares
not
what I think, brother.
I'm not a huge Saquon guy, but I mean, there's just not that much volume. And so when they keep on seeing you click Neal, like a bit of a snowball down a mountain starts, where it gains traction. And maybe it's correct. Maybe Neal, maybe you are right on Neal.
Well, I think I am right on Neal, but also literally no one cares what I think.
Maybe true, maybe not. I would think people are saying you're not a Neal slappy, so maybe I'm
So
maybe
ETR has him 25 picks after ADP, which is interesting because normally that is the ranking
but people
that
who
sets the market.
can't draft confidently and just like buy rankings and strictly draft off of that, they're not drafting right now. Those people come in around August, July, whatever. People are saying I've only drafted Neal because of Davis. So
he started out in the 150s, so I was taking him every single time. He was a huge smash at that price. At more expensive than every one of the premium handcuffs from last year. Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Algier, Ray Davis. I'm backed off just a smidge.
Well, anyways, Neal, either like the point is there's a lot of group thought happening there, in my opinion. And so either the group is correct, or we've seen the group be wrong a lot with Laviska Shenault, with there was one year where before the what wide receiver am I thinking about? The Browns wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy. Before he was good, like people were like, the hive mind was really into Jerry Jeudy. And so I don't know. Fading the crowd can sometimes be good. Sometimes the crowd is correct, though. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, I think the move is just to get your own, like, generate opinions, generate a way to have an analytical framework to evaluate rookies and then plug in the variables on those rookies as you get there. And I mean, obviously, like, watch them play a little bit. The most important variable to the thing that is going to have the highest R squared to fantasy point production is going to be draft capital. Yes. I think Devin Neal is great. Devin Neal, I think at this stage is unlikely to get 0% to get first round draft capital. Looks light to get round 2 and less likely to get round 3 draft capital than I thought a month ago. He did have a good Senior Bowl, weighed in at a good weight at the Senior Bowl, which I think was big for him because he looks kind of small when you watch him. Well, I would not have taken Jonathan Taylor if I knew that this selection was coming back to me. So that feels like a big mistake. Guess I will. That's a little annoying.
I just reached on Marvin to create a unique combo. I think the hate on Marvin's probably gone too far. Year 2 Marvin Harrison Jr., probably a good bet.
Yeah, he's a good pick. Big board 82 of 150 for me here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, yeah, post draft is when things are the easiest. I think watching the prospects is not something everyone needs to do. You know, your biases can be quite wrong there. You know, an example is like the tape watchers, they hated Brian Thomas Jr. Oh, this guy he only runs one route, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes the keep it simple, stupid can work where first round draft capital on the Jaguars attached to Trevor Lawrence, big, fast, competing for targets with Gabe Davis, you know? So that was about the thesis for me there. Tet McMillan, I think he's a good reach too. Like if this was last year, would Tet McMillan have been a second round pick?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was the Marvin Harrison Jr. bust is frankly the only reason that.
And he wasn't even like he was not a worth that pick, but he scored what, like 7+ touchdowns or something like that. It's not like this guy put up a Quentin Johnston season and he's being talked about like that, you know?
I think it was mostly, frankly, I think he just looked terrible. Like I that's to me, I think a huge part of it is that he just like looked awful. Like you just watched them play and you're like, all right, he's just out here running these half-assed routes. He doesn't attack the ball at all. He just like does not have strong hands, which is just so weird to be like, what was he, 5th overall? And he just like,
he was too rich. He didn't have the dog in him.
He just kind of let these smaller corners just like bully him off the ball. It's just like, all right,
I don't know. I put a lot of blame on
here?
Kyler, which is, you know, Kyler's still going to be there. So is what it is there. But I could see year 2 Marvin Harrison Jr. people being like, oh, wow, that guy just had 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. Like maybe we went a little too far on him.
The you know, the interesting thing is though, he is very unlikely to lead his team in targets, which is it's a tough look, right? To be drafted where he was drafted, to have the hype that he had, to be literally Marvin Harrison Jr.'s kid, and then you sit down to do your projections for the next year and you're like, well, there's just no way this guy's leading his own team in targets and or receptions.
This is a gross spot in the draft.
It is. Where you are at is a miserable spot in the draft. I like that. Yeah, so once, to me,
Olave feels good though. Like Olave there's a lot of guys who are last year's T. Higgins, where basically, you know, guy has a down year, and then people are like, okay, you need to drop from a 2-3 turn to a 4th. There's a lot of guys that come to mind for that.
It's year 3 for T. Higgins in a row. If he was good last year, 2nd round pick. He was bad last year, 4th round pick. Oh, all right. Where's T. Higgins going next year?
Like DK Metcalf is this year's. I think I'm going to take my first share Rashee Rice. Like, I don't know. I don't have any yet. He has a 0 in his range of outcomes, but 5th round pick seems about a good time to roll the dice on him.
This motherfucker. I mean,
yeah, when I get the value of Jaden and Terry, that's not the team I want to double elite quarterback on. But hey, different strokes for different folks.
I don't tilt it all that often, but I know he's literally just doing it to tilt me. So there you go. There's your Shorty Vegas. There's your tilt. You got me. Congratulations. Shout out to you.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that's happening with Marvin is people are like, well, Trey McBride only had 1 touchdown or whatever, you know? So that has to go up. And they're like, all that needs to come from Marvin. Maybe true, but as things stand, it is Marvin and Trey. And then, you know, who else is there to demand a target? Greg Dortch? Come on now. Michael Wilson?
They're probably pretty live to take one of these wide receivers. I mean, granted, we'll see how good any of them are, but because they feel like a team that could hugely benefit from any additional help in the passing game. Because, part of the organizational thing is they want to be proven right for taking Marvin Harrison Jr. And it does seem like Marvin Harrison Jr. is the type of guy who might need to be coddled a little bit into his production.
He was the 5th pick in the fucking draft last year. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a stud in the NFL.
What is the above average trait that he has at his position? Because I kind of struggle to find that.
He's going to be viewed similar to like AJ Green when all things are said and done.
I can actually kind of see that as a comp. Yeah. Kind of how they move. I mean, I am not obviously an expert film watcher, but the thing that really stuck out to me watching Marvin Harrison Jr. in Arizona versus Ohio State was he just did not look nearly as smooth. Like it just kind of looked like he is good against the press. That is true. Much better than Xavier Worthy. I mean, obviously we know Xavier Worthy can never beat the press. He was good at that, but he was just so he's just so static at the catch point. Like he would just always be catching the ball standing still.
Things have changed a little bit where a lot of rookies do hit the ground running, but we're not too far removed from the era where
year 3 wide receiver breakout.
Yeah, year 2 and 3 was supposed to be the breakout. And some guys are going to be like that, Again, Kyler's probably not but like we're also not too Kyler. That was his first year off of injury last year, right?
2 years.
2 years? Okay,
can't remember. He came back in like week 9.
Well, whatever. Like we're not too far removed from like Kyler being the MVP, basically in people's mind. Seems like a decent time to roll the dice on Laporta too.
Yeah, you're getting good prices here.
Gives me a lot of quarterback options in a couple rounds too. By the way, guys, what the 9-hole did, I think, is quite bad. I think it's totally fine to pair Joe Burrow with Chase Brown. But when you see that 2 people on your inside have Lamar and Josh and no one has any Bengal, you should take Burrow with your next pick in the 6th. Very minor edge, but in the aggregate, you're always going to get Burrow there in the 6th.
This is terrible, dude. St. Brown went nuts in year 1. He went giga nuclear nuts year 1. He averaged over 20 points per game in the final.
None of that is correct.
Yeah, it's just all bad. And they played like different positions. Tough scenes, man. I do think I think
all these wide receivers are defensible here, by the way. Shakir, Ibuka, McMillan. Let's go the new $60 million man, Khalil Shakir. Did you see that?
Yeah, a lot of money for old Shakir. I don't really see what they had no other option, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't even think it's that unreasonable of a deal, dude. $15 million a year for arguably your best. I mean, not even arguably, just your best wide receiver.
Just your best wide receiver, yeah. Maybe I take running back here and just be done for like a bunch of rounds. Take Judkins? No, I gotta take a wide receiver. Jalen McMillan's fine there.
I think Jalen McMillan's, I think maybe it's hard to say because Khalil Shakir could unlock like an even extra gear / maybe just score some red zone touchdowns and pay off that way, Like your dream upside for him is that he is 80% of what Rashee Rice was, or 85%, something like that, because he's like a fast guy. He went down the field too.
Yeah,
I know. Shakir is 6 feet. He is taller than people think.
Yeah. All right. CD, Taylor, Bucky, Devonta, Walker, Reed, McMillan. I like that team. I would not have taken Jonathan Taylor if I thought Bucky would come all the way back around, but that's fine. Kind of like this team better than the last one.
I think I think going 4-4 is always pretty good. Or you went 4-3?
3, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's always good where you cover the flex running back and wide out. Like, I think that's like just chalk good. where
Yeah.
doing something different it can work, but year after year going to 3-4 through 7 is pretty good. I kind of like when you get a Saquon, I kind of like building him as an anchor.
No, I completely agree. Like when you take Saquon, I'm like, I don't need a running back too. Yeah, it's just
Well, I
like,
mean, literally, he's going to drop 50, and he's got both spots covered.
yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. When you draw the 1 or the 2, or the 2 or the 3, and you get Barkley, I'm just like, I am just hammering wide receiver. Because you are pretty far behind at wide receiver. Anytime you start a running back round 1, you're very far behind in terms of like projected points at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, just having to go T. Higgins in the second versus like getting
Josh Jacobs.
AJ Brown
Yeah.
in the second, like even that feels a little bit bad. And then by the time you're in the third, by ADP, it's always Terry. I think you can pull up Mike Evans. I think you can pull up Marvin like I did. I think you can pull up Jameson Williams.
I think more people should do that instead of just taking Terry because he's there. I think we should pull up DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison,
Yeah,
Worthy.
always.
I agree.
When it's a flat tier, you should always be pulling up because people just don't do it. I mean, Aaron Jones as my RB2 feels pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't even need the full season when it goes like this.
The thing with Aaron Jones is I think I started out pretty light on him because I was like, okay, so he's going to be on another team. He's going to be on a third team in 3 seasons. It's like, well, I started looking at it more and I'm like, the Vikings have 4 picks. So what is this fictional universe where the Vikings redo their running back room, on the fly and add these rookies? Like it's actually more likely that they just retain Aaron Jones.
So I did do something risky there-ish, where with me taking Marvin in the third, the guy on my inside had McBride, but that's what was nice about getting Laporta because it was unlikely I got double sniped on quarterback. So, okay, I don't get the Kyler Marvin connection, but I do get Goff with Laporta at pick 100. And I get Aaron Jones, which is just kind of like a bit of a tier break for me between him and the other running backs.
I am happy to take David Njoku here. It's probably another draft where I'm going to end up tilting my quarterback situation, but I do really like taking Njoku. And I do a lot what you did in the last one, where I just take him with Cam Ward and say, just, let it run pure. Although it's very funny. I had a bunch of teams that ended up unstacked last year doing the same thing, where I was drafting May like he was a Commander and Daniels like he was a Patriot. And so ended up with a bunch of bad combinations that way.
People hated when I said it, but as soon as the Commanders signed Marcus Mariota, you needed to read that is Jaden Daniels to me. It's a little Mayish too, but like, I don't know. Like Mariota the year after he backed up Jalen Hurts, like that was the smoke for me.
True. Or you get Cousins, the Njoku Cousins PPR scam. Yeah, that is very live. Although he could not PPR scam Kyle Pitts. So
whoever is the draft guy who now works at Underdog, I think I just saw him say that he could see the Browns going Cousins and Cam Ward.
I mean,
just throw a bunch of stuff there.
Assuming that Cousins doesn't have insane money aspirations, like
no one's paying Cousins a lot of money. That's not.
Well, it's more about how much of his Falcons contract can he retain. Because I think there is math where he can, like, how Russell Wilson basically played for the Steelers for free last year. Like if he can, if I don't know the cap machinations or whatever for this to happen, but if he can get a bunch of the cash from his Falcons deal, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll play for $5 million. Salted Cod, this is why you don't take Dak first, because I'm going to get him right here. So now I have
what do you think of Charbonnet going ahead of Ramondre? Because in all likelihood, Ramondre is just a starting running back, and Charbonnet is a 1B?
I think I'd literally have them right next to each other. In
But
my
it's
ranks.
like it's Ramondre and no one currently for the Patriots.
Gibson's under contract, but
no, but like that, yeah, no one. Exactly my point.
I mean, Ramondre was one of the worst running backs in football last year, so it's not going to be
but so
surprising to
was
me.
the Patriots O-line. They had the worst O-line.
It's actually, I'm actually curious about this. I wonder where Ramondre was at in PFF grade.
I've yet to take Ramondre, but I keep on clicking like Dobbins over him, but I want to start mixing him in.
That is, I mean, I kind of don't like that running back range in general, but I get it. Ramondre Stevenson, not on the first 50 by PFF grade. Let me see if I can find him. Ramondre.
Yeah, but what was Saquon ranked the year that he played behind the Giants? And then what was he ranked the year he played with the Eagles?
Barkley was ranked 84.7 rush grade last year. Last year with the Giants, 70.6 rush grade for Barkley.
Well, yeah, the point there is that your surrounding talent matters a lot for this stuff. And the Patriots O-line and the fact that they had literally no weapons in the pass game to threaten anyone, I think played a role.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ramondre is just like a fine NFL running back. It's not going to surprise me if Vrabel wants his guy, though. Vrabel feels like a big I want my guy type thing. You know what I mean?
Are you into this Cam Scotta-Tebow guy I just took?
I think basically I think he could be one of the biggest fallers at the combine. He could also be a riser though.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like it's going one of those ways.
Because it'll basically come down to what kind of times can this guy run? If him running a 4.7 is like firmly in the range of outcomes. Like him running a time so bad that he gets an undraftable grade is in the range. But if he shows up and weighs 228 and runs, that's the other thing. Arizona State lists him at 215. Now there's no way. There's no way he's 215. If he's actually 215, again, undraftable. But so he has a lot to gain or lose this weekend, I think.
I think Keenan and Kirk are probably the better picks most of the time, but at least they feel better.
Yeah. I like both of them a lot. I have them both ranked ahead of their ADP. But I mean, Scattaboo, if he is 215, it's over. But if he's 227 and he runs a 4.52 and interviews well, which I assume he will be, I think he could be a second round pick, actually, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Seems a little rich, but then you see Trey Benson go within the same round as him, and you're like, okay.
We're in the nether realm of running backs now. Like once Bigsby goes, it's like literally you could tell me these guys are in any order. You could tell me the order goes in any way after that.
It seems kind of crazy that Bigsby goes like right next to Brian Robinson. Like Brian Robinson, year after year, is an awesome pick. Now, I think they're going to add someone, but it'll probably be the goal line back at worst. He's going to benefit from the read option. So, I don't know. Tank is maybe a home run, right? Like
ETN was so like I had forgotten. I recently had to go back and look. I mean, it was unbelievable how bad he was. Like I actually going back and looking at it, I did not believe how brutal he was.
Yeah, the dream is that it starts off ETN, Rachaad White, Bigsby, Bucky, and then by year's end, it's all Bigsby. Like that's the dream for Bigsby. Maybe, but I don't know. I could also see ETN. I've yet to draft him yet either, but it's not hard to see him rebounding. Like he was so bad last year and kind of fine in the past / good.
Yeah, ETN, I mean, he had the 1 year being awesome. So he had the 1 year being awesome, the 1 year being ass, but getting all the volume. And then last year he was ass and they took the volume away from him. I think ETN's ADP is fair. He started out as a target for me and then got more expensive.
Oh, bummer. Travis Hunter went.
Where are you at on old T Hunter?
I mean, one GM said he views him as a wide receiver. So
yeah, Browns GM.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
And then the Titans GM said we view him as a cornerback.
Yeah, so I think, look, he goes next to Quentin Johnston,
right?
Xavier Legette. You know, like these seems like good rolls of the dice for him.
I agree.
In managed, like some people like to say that in managed they prefer it because you get to see it, but I think I prefer to roll the dice on these guys in best ball. Like, you know, I don't care.
Well, I mean, here's the deal, dude. If some team says he's a wide receiver, like let's say he gets taken by the Giants and the Giants are like, he's not playing cornerback at all. He's a wide receiver where he's, you know, him and neighbors are going to live together and they're studying the tape. Guess what, dude? He's going to be in the 6th round. You're not going to be able to take him anymore.
Yeah.
It's over.
And I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like it's the 12th round. There's a lot of zeros anyways. Like Trey Benson's probably a zero. Like,
yeah, Jalen Coker. Let me tell you who is drawn live to be a stone zero. The undrafted free agent from Holy Cross who only played because Jonathan Mingo got traded.
To me, it's just when he has the talent to be the best wide receiver in this class and he's a 12th round pick, that to me is a good bet. And, you know, I don't care that his floor is 0.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really care either. I mean, to me, he's not like a heavy target because the floor is legitimately 0, but I think it would be silly to say, oh, he's a bad pick. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that go after him that's like, I think you could argue should go ahead of him. Dontavian Wicks, Tillman, Romeo Dobbs. Like, these guys are most likely starters. And Anthony Richardson is a guy I only like to take. Like, I hate taking him when I feel like the rest of my team's really good. You know what I mean?
Who?
Richardson.
Oh, sure. I mean, I really like Richardson, but I acknowledge that 0 well within the range for him.
Yeah, like him and Fields. So do you think he's going to be the starter?
I think Richardson and Fields are both going to start. Yeah, that's my current opinion.
I don't know about Fields, but the other thing with Richardson is, does he have any like Daniel Jones risk? You know what I mean? Where it's like,
yes,
where the contract guarantee, blah blah blah.
Oh no, because he's on his rookie deal. But the risk is that they just get sick of him. The risk is that they just say, like, there was that quote from DeForest Buckner last year where he was like, "Oh, I told Richardson, like, you let me down, like, as a man. Like, I extended my career." He's like, I extended my career. I wanted to play another year with the Colts because I believed in you, and you like let me down as a human being with your like in like your.
All right, well, that dude's dramatic because he should have looked around the NFL and realized that Richardson plays in a league with Mahomes, Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar, and like, come on. I mean, maybe what he meant is that Richardson didn't train as hard as he should have.
No, that is what he meant. That
Okay.
is he meant like okay, I took Ollie Gordon on the last one. I'm gonna take Isaac Guerendo. You kind of changed my mind about Guerendo.
You're welcome. I think he's a fantastic pick. I think him and Mason are both really good picks.
Well, the thing is I think you want what you want is you want one of them to not be on the team, whether it be Guerendo back to the practice squad, Mason signed away in restricted free agency. You can't. What you don't want is you don't want all three guys to be on the roster anymore.
Just taking my first Fields team. I don't even really believe in him being the Steelers starter, but whatever.
Why?
Heroes.
What do you think happens with Fields? You think he signs as a backup somewhere?
Yeah,
that's not great. I think it's more likely Russell. Like, if you had to handicap the probabilities, I would say it's more likely that Russell Wilson is either done playing football or on another team. Because the reporting from Jerry Dulac was they're only bringing back one of them. They're not going to bring back both of them again. And it's more likely to be Fields than Wilson.
They're the team that should get Stafford, honestly, but they're in the AFC.
Yeah, they could make
I don't know. Like, it just seems incredibly unlikely that, number one, we, like, no disrespect to Fields, but we just know he's not good enough.
He's like the 19th best quarterback or something. Like, there's no, and
maybe the 24th, right? Like,
and there's like, but also the thing is it's kind of, it's kind of, it's not 1-to-1, but it's like Tebow-y, where because he was such a high draft pick, there's like more hubbub that comes with him than you'd want there to be. Like, oh, we signed Justin Fields. Justin Fields, the future of the franchise. Like, it's not just like a normal backup quarterback, you know? Like, it's not like signing Chase Daniel or whatever.
You could see him being Hurts's backup. Like, that seems, like, they're like, okay, let's get rid of Kenny Pickett. The Steelers get rid of him. The Eagles sign Fields, and you just need an injury to Hurts. But, it's like, if you're the Steelers, dude, you just had a whole, like, what, is Fields supposed to be so much better this upcoming year than years past that he couldn't see the field over Russ? Like, I just don't really buy that. Like, that would just be so bizarre from Tomlin to be like, hey, dude, I know that we played the corpse of Russell Wilson over you last year.
Right.
But this year we believe in you, and it's like, I don't, does that story track to anyone?
It tracks to me just because Fields won when they started him. The only game
they played Russ because they promised it to Russ first. Get out of here with that. Like, oh, no, the NFL is not a league of promises. They cut dudes all the time, right? It's a business league, and you play the best quarterback. They made the effing playoffs, dude. They're not playing a guy because they promised something.
I don't wholly disagree with you, but I think they're also this would be my opinion. I think there was a little bit of stubbornness sticking with Wilson at the end. That is my opinion. I've been wrong.
I don't disagree, but Fields also is not capable of running like a real NFL offense. He can run some Tebow gimmicky wildcat play action running type of thing. I mean, hell, maybe Fields could win the Super Bowl behind the Eagles O-line, right? Like, if you give him enough talent, but I don't know. I would like
Fields in a way. Tell me if this makes sense. The thing he's shitty at is easier for a good offensive coordinator to cover up, because the thing that he is shitty at. Do I have any rookie running backs yet? I'm going to take DJ Giddens here. The thing he's shitty at is processing. Like, he's just a beat too low on every play. And actually, Arthur Smith, you got to hand it to him. Everyone fucking hates him. When Fields was on the field, Arthur Smith had a plan for what to deal with that. It was a lot of quick. Yes, he needs a lot of layup plays. And Arthur Smith is pretty good at generating those. You know what Fields is like, Liam? Fields is like the final evolution of Desmond Ridder. You know what I mean? Like, he's the best possible version of this.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing with Fields is his, like, game-breaking fantasy ceiling is not even there if he's being forced to game manage.
Oh, well, no, it is, because he can just score 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, he did it twice. for the
Yeah, but
Steelers.
more so, he is just like a decently high floor quarterback. I took Dart over Shadur. What do you think about that?
I think it's bad, but not that bad. It's totally
You want to
fine.
bet Dart to go QB1, but you think it's bad to take Dart over Shadur?
Yeah, I mean, to do that every time or to have him ranked there, I don't think it. I guess I should rephrase that. I have not done that yet, but I think it's fine.
Well, to me, it sounds like Shadur just doesn't have that much upside, and Dart does. And I don't know. It doesn't feel great having a quarterback room of Goff, Fields, and Dart. That's for sure.
Yeah. So one thing I would caution people about if you're doing your rookie research is I wouldn't take any one guy's opinion as gospel. You're going to get much more truth out of the aggregate. That would be my opinion.
Except mine. I'll lead you clear.
And Giddens is awesome, by the way. If you just want to watch a little bit of ball, he's sick.
I don't know. Just to finish the Fields thing, man. Like he has a lot of like 15-point games as a starter in his range of outcomes.
230 balls last year.
Yeah, he has very rare spikes. You know who else had 30 balls? Baker Mayfield. So it's like, I don't know. This cover 2 era, I also don't think is that great for housing long touchdowns.
It's what's sick is it might be the cover 2 era is actually kind of better for the layup play quarterbacks because there is no like the only quarterback last year who was awesome throwing the ball down the field was Jaden Daniels. Like everyone else was basically bad at it other than Daniels. So like
Derek Carr was awesome, but again, that has to do with teams being like,
yeah,
we don't need to play cover 2 against you.
Yes, 100%. But I think you're wrong about Fields for 2 reasons. The one being
I would like Fields to be the starter. The story doesn't really make sense to me.
The crazy thing is basically that you just run out of teams with a starting quarterback if you put him on the bench. Is the thing.
Well, who's Dart starting for?
The
Maybe
Jets.
The Steelers.
The Jets.
The Jets.
I think he's starting for the Jets. That's my opinion.
I think the Steelers make a lot of sense for Rodgers.
That is, I believe, where he is in the markets right now. Do I have a rookie wide receiver yet? I don't.
It just makes all the sense. And when they just did Russell, like, why not do Rodgers?
No, I agree. That is what the betting markets have. If this happens, if Indy brings in Fields to compete with Richardson, I mean, it is over for both of them. It's actually over for both of them.
That's just like a gross concept.
No, but can't you? I actually think it's totally I could totally see that happening. I've been saying this, that if I was what's the name of their GM, Chris Ballard, if I was him, I would sign Fields to a reasonable deal, and then I would draft Jalen Milroe in the 3rd round, and then I would just let them, I'd toss a bat in the middle of the room and be like, all right, fellas, whoever comes out is our quarterback. This is true now. Yeah, Rodgers it moved. Rodgers now favored to be a Ram.
Crazy to me. You know who should really sign Fields is the Saints, because they have no hope for a long time. Like, dude, the Wildcat with Fields and Taysom would have struck fear. Would have struck fear in people.
No, 100%. You could not be more right about that. Yeah.
We're gonna do free agent Diami Brown.
I need one more running back.
I could stop at 5 with Saquon, Jones, Brian Robinson, Scata, Tebow, and Lloyd. Might go 6, but I don't like. I kind of, when you take Rashee Rice,
you need an extra wide receiver because he might play 6 games.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I need an extra body there. And then it's like Olave, Wandale kind of feels nice as like a guy to just like hit the lineup, to give you like 7 points or whatever.
Yeah, I had a shit ton of Wandale last year. I'm less this year. Still take him here and there. I've took Milrow a couple times early. It just sounds like the NFL hates this guy. Just sounds like they do not see what us slappies see in him at all.
You know what? Some teams should trade for the Patriots backup?
Milton? I think they wouldn't
Milton?
trade him. I think they basically would be like, no, dude, this guy is going to be our backup quarterback for the next 10 years. We don't want to trade him.
Yeah, but if they could like be like, here's a starting lineman or something like.
Sure. I mean, sure. If it was a really good deal, but if teams were being like, here's a 4th round pick, I think they'd be like, no, dude, I don't even disagree with you. Do you even, Milton is a crazy, crazy quarterback.
He's got the biggest arm in the league, I think.
His processing speed is definitely like a tick or two slow as well, but he does have the crazy, crazy cannon arm. And I mean, he played in such a Mickey Mouse offense in college. I'm still, I think he probably is very unlikely to be a long-term NFL starter, but the thing is he just makes like no money. So you just can't trade if you have a competent backup quarterback for $700K, it's actually less. It's like $350K. You just can't trade him.
This tight end room of Laporta, Evan Ingram, and Pat Freiermuth is so like milk toast.
I was gonna. That's Spider-Man pointing at each other.
You're like trying to get like 600 targets, negative yak on some of them.
I need a good Taysom Hill health report. I don't think there will.
My friend who's like a Saints fan is being like, the way he's speaking, he's attacking rehab.
I mean, I'm sure he is. He's Taysom Hill. It's the only thing he offers is like dog. That is like all Taysom Hill has.
Hey, pull up what Mantis Toboggan said. I don't know if that's like, I just totally made this up, but
I mean, I'm sure if they got offered a second,
he should be
pick,
Richardson's backup. You know, from one project to the next.
Different style as a player. Milton, not really a runner. A scrambler, not a runner. I think
but he's just got a huge effing arm. You know, like that's the rub on Richardson.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Richardson, man.
Devon Bailey, man, that's a name I hoped to not hear for a long time.
People love. I would say Devon Bailey gets brought up in my shows minimum of 1 time a stream, maybe more. They just, for whatever reason, people just love a 27-year-old rookie.
My advice to you people out there is it's fine to take the chalk guys in these rounds for wideout, who I would put as Curtis Samuel, Westbrook Akine, Deontay Johnson. But you should mix it up a little bit too. Like me taking Mike Williams, it's not that crazy that this guy, a full year recovered from injury, puts up, 100 points or whatever, has a spike week.
I can't believe Mason Taylor and Arroyo have not seen a huge spike in their ADP. Like I think they should be like 17th round picks.
I'm gonna do the Roman Wilson, Justin.
Yeah, I got that combo covered, brother.
31-year-old Mike Williams is done. Mike Williams could have been a defensible stack too. Although I think he's a free agent now.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
All right. Final teams. Oh, let me pop out the draft board. Oh, God, I hate streaming out of Firefox. Okay. Probably got to share the screen. All right. We have got CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor. Don't love the Jonathan Taylor pick, but whatever. Bucky, Devonta, Walker. Maybe I should have just taken another wide receiver there, but all the running backs are gone. When you pick in the middle of the board, you can just get this whole group of running backs. Like if you're picking at 54 and then 67, all of Walker, Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion, and Kamara can be gone by the time you get back. And then you're like, well, shit. McMillan, Shaheed, Njoku, Dak, Keenan, Ferguson, Richardson, Guerrero, A.D. Mitchell, Giddens, Shadur, Ricky White, Keaton Mitchell, Mason Taylor. Liam, how do you feel about your squad?
I feel like I just kept on taking wide receivers and I never felt comfortable.
You never feel good
when you take Saquon and
yeah.
And the other I don't know. Maybe I should have punted on the Jones pick and gone Murray and Goff. But so it's like what I end up is I'm not that confident in my wide receiver depth. I feel Saquon, Aaron Jones, and Brian Robinson, that three alone is a good enough running back room in all likelihood. Yeah. So just having two more, had to only go 5 with Scott Tebow.
Scam's got a Tebow.
Yeah, and Marshawn Lloyd. Quarterback, I also don't feel great at. It's Goff, Fields, who I would love for him to be the starter for this team, but I don't know about it. And then Jackson Dart, which, I mean, this guy could be anywhere from Malik Willis to Bo Nix. And tacked on a likely 0 on Roman Wilson.
But you never know. When he's not a 0, though, he's a really good pick.
Yeah.
I think Kareem Hunt is retired from professional football. Is my thoughts
he's
on
an
Kareem
egregious
Hunt.
pick for people to be making repeatedly.
Yeah. Like he was losing snaps to Pacheco on a broken leg. I believe I gotta pull this up on PFF. I think he had 0 explosive runs. I believe that is true.
Someone said Shadur is at least going to be starting. Can't guarantee the same on Dart. I don't disagree, but if Shadur's upside is like 11 points per game, that is the same as being a 0.
You know? His upside is better than 11 points per game.
No, but if he's like Bryce Young, if he's rookie year Bryce Young, terrible.
All right, Kareem Hunt. This is a good one, Liam. Kareem Hunt got signed in week 4. Guess how many explosive runs for the entirety of the season from week 4 to the Super Bowl?
3.
3 explosive runs from week 4 to the Super Bowl.
I was just running through the memories in my mind, and I'm like, tackled for 4 yards, tackled for 4 yards.
I wonder how many. This is a good question. Did Samaje Perine have more or less explosive runs?
Well, he got more passes. He barely got runs.
I want to say maybe it's even possible.
What if year 2 Carson Steele is Kareem Hunt?
I mean, I think Kansas City feels super live to take one.
Yes, agreed. Back. But they kept Carson Steele on the roster, man. They didn't practice squad this guy.
Well, they had him. They legit had him playing fullback. Like truly, they had him playing fullback.
Dude, I could just see it. I could see the Tank Bigsby resurgence. Maybe.
I guess it's possible. I mean, yeah. But I think Najee Harris is more likely to be a Kansas City Chief than people think. That feels like a very, very, very
like a great way to lose the Super Bowl or not even make the Super Bowl.
They're already pretty good at that. They're already pretty good at just being the worst. Yes. I also hope this is true. I hope the Chiefs take Travion Henderson, Devin Neal, DJ Giddens, and they sign Marcus Yarns as an undrafted free agent. So I literally never have to think about.
I think Perine's out of the league. Is my assumption.
It would not be surprising to me if every Chiefs guy who got a rush, Steele, Pacheco, Perine, and Hunt, it would not be surprising to me if they were all.
Pacheco's probably going to be a good pick. Is my intuition at pick 90.
He makes pick 90. No, maybe. I mean, he'll probably be on the team. They feel if I had to power rank teams who were most live to have a new running back, I would say Raiders are number 1, Chiefs are number 2, Chargers are number 3.
Yeah, I mean, J.K. Dobbins, I don't know, probably gets 2 for 15.
Dobbins could definitely, he had a visit with the Chiefs. He could definitely be a Chief.
I think he's a good pick. Like, he was just a good player, and he'll probably be healthier. Cowboys for sure getting.
Cowboys are in that group as well.
Cowboys probably get Ginty, right? They trade up and secure it.
I think Ginty will be there at 12. They got to duck the Bears.
They trade ahead of the Bears because Jerry Jones is just clicking buttons.
Ashton Ginty, no matter what. I mean, Ginty, I think I basically have said this. I'm like, I don't want the nerds getting their fucking pitchforks out on Twitter about Ginty. Like,
No, I agree.
You give the ball to Genti 300 times.
It depends on the team, though. Like if it's the Raiders, they should get pitchforked. If it's the Cowboys, they maybe should get pitchforked.
Cowboys are close. I mean, the Cowboys could theoretically be in the Super Bowl next year. Theoretically.
Man,
it's very light.
The line's not good anymore. Dak's a question. They don't have another wide receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb.
They should take a wide receiver with that pick.
Their defense can't stop the run. Like they have a lot of issues.
Heard they might not want it. Heard they might not pay Micah Parsons. Yeah.
Yeah. That, I mean, Jesus, right? Like they seem pretty far to me. I would say the Bears is not a team, like a Bears with no pitchforks are deserved because all they got to do is really fix the O-line and maybe get another wideout.
Yeah. Before
we go,
tell
me what will be the consensus top 5 quarterbacks in this class post-combine.
It'll be Ward 1, Shadur 2, Dart 3, Tyler Shuck is going to somehow be 5th. This Tyler Shuck shit. I mean, people got it. He played at Oregon, Texas Tech, and Louisville. He's 26 years old, but there are people who pretend they know ball who are like, dude, this Tyler Shuck guy.
Dude, even the guy who started for the Saints, he got some starts in him.
Rattler went to Oklahoma. I kind of thought he was okay. I think Quinn is going to be outplayed and outshone by Will Howard. Yeah.
Where's Jameis go?
That's a great question. My read on Jameis is that part of the reason why he did, he's been doing this media tour.
Chiefs backup. Jameis.
I wonder if Jameis is just over it. If he's just like, I don't want to be a backup anymore. I'm gonna go make $5 million at Fox.
Yeah, he could be a great that or like some right wing.
I'm just begging people to stop wanting attention because this happens every year. Tyler Shuck is not better than Shadur. Tyler Shuck is.
It's spelled shall, but it's pronounced shuck.
Yes. Yeah.
That alone is an issue for me.
It's an issue that he's 26, dude. He's 2 years older than Penix right now.
Brandon Weeden worked out great.
And also, I mean, I do feel like these guys are being fancy. Like, I have watched Tyler Shuck play many times because I watch college football. He's just like he's not any better than Will Howard, dude.
What if a team gives Carson Wentz a shot the year? Like, you remember how Mitch Trubisky backed up Josh Allen and then got a shot? What if the sub team does that for Carson Wentz?
True.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you being here. Like, subscribe. Davis will be back, and I will be back next week to recap all of the combine fallout. Enjoy your days. Peace out.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense